I played for 12 years. I was blessed enough to play for 12 years, not with a lot of major injuries, but, just playing out there and running against people, it was difficult. And so I have a lot of injuries now with my shoulders and in my knees and hips and things of that nature. So introduced to the Patches through Ivory, who I played with and with the Rams. And be honest with you, originally the first day or two, I thought I felt better, but I wasn't sure. And then by the third or fourth day, I play a lot of golf because that's what old football players do, because we can't do anything else anymore. And I noticed that after I played golf, my back wasn't tight. Before I would have the Beamer in the car, and I would go back to the car and put the Beamer on, put the strap on my back, and use that or whatever. If I didn't do that, when I got home, my wife, I'm old, but my wife thought I was older than I was. So I started with the patch, and by the third or fourth day, I realized I wasn't using my Beamer as much as I was, because normally I used to beat my back every morning because my back was tight from sleeping. So I started introducing it to people, a lot of people that I know that, we're all limping around out on the golf course, a lot of other players, and they started getting immediate results. One of the biggest results I saw was that I have a buddy of mine or whatever. I think he's UFC or whatever.
Yeah, UFC.
Yeah, UFC. He was a UFC fighter. Now he's a stunt guy, and he was doing a stunt on a motorcycle and had an operation on his shoulder, and so he had just had it. We were down in Palm Desert, and I said, well, why don't you just try some of these patches? I knew what they would do, but I didn't know that they would act that quickly, and he called me the next morning because he stayed down with my other buddy down in the desert. He called me the next morning. He said, hey, I didn't have to take any pain pills last night, and I slept I slept great. And so, to be honest with you, I've not talked to anyone or given anyone. Well, Marcy hasn't gifted anyone. I was actually out today gifting people because, I'm sure Marcy and Jan are tired of me calling them to have them gift somebody, but it's just been an amazing thing. So I can't tell you how much it's helped me as far as, my back. Now my wife is wearing them and everybody's wearing them. So, I just found out today that, we have a horse. I just found out today we can put it on a horse. So I'm trying to figure out where to put it, but that's an amazing thing. So it's been a godsend to me because my whole thing was to try to, as old as I am, most people don't think I'm as old as I am, but I'm 65 years old. So it's been a blessing. So thanks to Marcy and to Jan or whatever, they sort of brought me along, and now we're just calling people up and sending stuff wherever. I think I got a friend in Miami or whatever that we will send stuff to tomorrow. So anyway, that's it. I mean, I don't like talking about myself. I mean, that's what I did, but that's not who I am. I love people. I especially like people that are hurting, and you find something for them, and I think that's my relationship with the people I've talked to, is that we always talk, so it's not like I'm calling them once a year and trying to get them to try something. So I tell them what it did for me and what it's done for my wife and the people that I know, and that's been quite successful so far.
So David, tell me one more time about that back, because whenever you golf, before the stem cell activation patch, your back would hurt like right before you started or right after. Remind me, you told me that story. Tell me that one more time.
Yeah, we would. When I went to play golf, be honest with you, I would drive to the golf course with the Beamer on my back. I mean, that was my to help me get warmed up, and then I would go out and hit balls and stuff like that to try to warm up even more. But the issue wasn't before golf; it was more after golf, and that was with the twisting and turning and trying to hit the ball further than the guy who hit the ball in front of me. So, and I'm 65 years old, so and then with blocking people all my life, in football because I played 12 years in the league, but that doesn't count the 4 years in college, the 4 years in high school, and things of that nature. So it was, my back and my shoulders are probably my worst, well, back, shoulders, and knees, but now I really don't have that problem.
Wow. Yeah, because I remember you saying something about when your back would hurt driving. Remember, you would drive your car
Yeah.
to the golf range, and when you got out of the car, like you would have to warm the back up before you swing the golf. Remember?
Yeah. Yeah, or just sitting around or whatever, and sitting on the couch watching too much TV as I normally do, or what I have done in the last couple of months. I would get up and my wife would go like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just stiff." So I would have to go through that process of warming up and stuff. But they say that playing football is like being in a car accident. So I was in 12 years of car accidents. So that's what I'm living with. Be honest with you, I still don't totally understand why it works, but I just do know that I know that it works. And I'm still trying to get around the science. I have some people who are into science and they want to go on the internet and see this and see that. And I said, look, all I know is that I put it on my back, on my spine, or on my back, or if I have a particular on my shoulder, and it works. And so that's good enough for me.